Warning, everything in this video and on this channel is for educational purposes only. All content is intended for viewers 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed by professionals, and all people shown are 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed under the legal Chapter 67(8)(d) here in Nevada. Please do not attempt to recreate or reenact anything you see on this channel.
In this episode of From the Stash, we're going to talk about 5 terpenes that you want your plants to produce.
But before we do that, we're going to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Thank you.
Thank you to AC Infinity for sponsoring today's video. Consider checking out the automatic water sprayer. It comes with a rechargeable sprayer with a 2200 milliamp power capacity. Supports up to 3 hours of continuous water diffusing. You can even modify the direction and spread of the spray with just a twist of the nozzle. Head on over to acinfinity.com, use promo code THESTASH15 and save a few dollars off at checkout.
This episode is brought to you by Stash Blend. I've been using Stash Blend for over a year now, and it's awesome. One of the things that I really like is that it saves me money. It's a whole bunch of different inputs in one. So I no longer have to go out there and buy a silica bottle, then a separate seaweed bottle, beneficial bacteria, then a separate one for mycorrhizal fungi. All of that plus more is in this one blend. Go to stashblend.com to learn more about it, and I also have a link down in the YouTube description section below.
From the Stash Podcast.
Yes, boys. From the Stash Podcast, we are back. The Genetics Series. Boom.
Good to see you, boys.
Man, it's a monumental moment in history when there's so much science to back what's going on, and all of our bro science of the terps, bro, the dank, dude, now has something real to back it. And I feel it's a better time. There's no better time than ever to start really talking about it amongst the bro science community and the grow science community to understand why these terps are important, why you want your genetics to have these, and why you want them in your life.
Totally agree. I think real quick, we should give a huge shout out to Seedsman for bringing us together, boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely epic.
Discount code behind my big head.
Discount code THESTASH15. Also, you can find
Just the stash.
Oh, yeah,
No
right.
15.
Discount code
That's
the
right.
stash.
That's right. I thought it changed.
But they also have Stash Blend available there as well. So big shout out to them. Get your growing accessories and your
be
grow
growing.
everything, man. The gear for gears and the gearheads in the grow community.
Love it. Love it. So we're breaking down terpenes today.
Terpenes,
Some
man.
terpenes.
Terpenes.
I think to go over the top 5, we're going to be talking about myrcene, limonene, pinene, linalool, and caryophyllene. Caryophyllene. Now here's the thing.
Butcher all the names.
Me and Trey put out a video years ago, and I was so bad with the words. I'm like, caryophyllene.
Said it different every time.
Every one of them. And you know what? If you say things right or wrong, some of us don't pronounce words great. If you're from Michigan, yeah, okay, whatever. But knowing what these are in particular, just when you see it and you're noticing that's the category, when you're looking more and more at products, when you're getting them online or at your local store, we'll say, they're starting to list the terpenes on there. And it's making you think more about why it has it there. It's no longer THC percentage alone. We're seeing like, oh, well, it's got these 3 chemicals in here. What are these that I can't say? Well, these are why you feel the way you do. And these are what gives your plants the uniqueness that they have and the traits from botanical to medical. And it makes us, I feel, really understand and appreciate the diversity of flavors that we have these days.
Yeah, and I think probably just starting with the first one, myrcene.
Myrcene.
Right? Myrcene's so common, so popular. This can be earthy, musky, clove-like taste and smell. Effects as well could kind of be looped into the same thing where we've got sedative, relaxing, kind of a couch lock effect. So those are the things really that hit hard with myrcene. And one of the strains that I grew that really has a lot of myrcene in it was vanilla cola. And I had an F1 that's by Cannabinology. Not sure if you guys heard of him. He was a content creator for a while. I think he took all his videos down. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but he had sent me over that, and beautiful plant that I grew out. It was just massive buds on it, great structure on it with very little training. But when I harvested that and consumed it, it did have a little vanilla in it, a little bit of sweetness, but it also had that earthy, musky flavor, was very, very heavy in it. So when I think of myrcene, I think of vanilla cola.
Man, I had one called Desert Diesel years ago, and I was hoping it leaned more diesel, but shit was sand, dirt, earth, funk. Not much pine, not much gas, just very earthy. And I liked it, but it was one that when you're going into something for a different flavor, it's like, again, something named fruity and it's not fruity at all. You're like, oh, that's not what I was after. I didn't keep it around. Hindsight, it was one that gave me the right medicinal effect that was like, I'm ready for bed. It's gonna get me in a little sleepy feeling. I'm a little anxious and stressed. It's gonna lower my energy. Those are where you're consciously getting cultivars based on the chemical inputs, so that way you have a knowledge of your effect. It's not indica sativa. It's like, well, I know that these certain terpenes do best with me. Limonene somehow is never it. Myrcene, pinene, caryophyllene, those are the ones that hit more for me, that mix. But some people hate that. That's where you're getting the nasties and the funks. They want the sweets, the floral, the sour. Everybody's endocannabinoid system is different, but you don't know until you try different flavors. You know, I used to be somebody who didn't care about the name or what it was. Like, dude, bud's bud. Never anymore now. Now I'm like, I don't like that one at all. I'm good. Passed up on numerous times when we hit it, and I'm like, ooh, I hate this. And someone else is like, what is my favorite? Preference, man. You learn what you like over time, and you don't know how to identify it by the name of the strain. You will by the terpenes, you know?
Yeah. For me, it was like a super silver haze that I had. It took on more of the haze flavoring with the earthy feel, the earthy taste to it. I love it myself, and I highly recommend it. I think it's one of those terpenes that's like one of the most pleasing to the majority of people. It's not off-putting like a limonene. I feel like, you know, maybe even like a pinene. There's a little bit of maybe a bitterness or something that you can leave on the palate afterwards that I feel like myrcene doesn't have. It could be accepted by the masses.
I feel like it leans more between that and pinene. That's like the taste of bud. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be piney, earthy.
Yeah.
It's only now really expanded out of that, where I've had stuff that I'm like, there's no herb here. This just tastes, there's no herbal flavor to it. It's just candy. It was just like going into limonene. For me, man, there was a lemon skunk that I had years ago that was all lemon, no skunk. Just so sharp, or like a Pine Sol cleaning product. And I hated it. I didn't like it. Some people call that gas. They're like, the lemony, that's the gassy, the diesel. So I was like, I don't call that gas. Like, is a limonene one that's high on your guys' radar for flavors that you enjoy?
So for me, yeah, I mean, the lemon skunk, I grew out that before, and it was super, gas. I want to say more fuel like.
Yeah, no, I could see that, because the Pine Sol leans, for me, it leans towards like a sharp funk. It's not a sweet lemon. It's like a fire breath lemon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that.
I like it. I enjoy it. Yeah. It grew really well for me too.
Big buds.
Yeah. Yep. Nice shape
what
on it.
Happened to lemon skunk? Now that we're talking about that, how did that fall off? It was everywhere, man.
It was.
Like, holy shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I personally don't like that overwhelming limonene taste. It's like that citrus flavor, and it kind of just I can have it for like a couple bowls, but I feel like consistently over time, it's just one of those tastes that just I don't like
100%
overwhelming amounts of. I grew a critical hog. It was one of my first successful harvests. I harvested so much, and it was just that it was a critical mass crossed with hog, and it made me realize having this much of this particular terp wasn't my thing. It's just kind of the same with Agent Orange, to be honest with you. It's a very, very pungent citrus that it gets to be too much.
I grew out that critical hog too. It's by TH Seeds, right?
Yep,
oh man, the buds on that one. Oh my gosh, yeah, bro. Massive colas on that one. I remember that flavor as well. I got some really great colors to come out. It was like beautiful purple hues coming out towards the end right before harvest. But I like that. Everybody's different strokes for different folks. I really loved the smoke on that one, but it's not for everybody. It's certainly not for everybody.
That's how it is with me and Trey. He's got this gelinade that he loves, and it's just too citrus for me. It's sour. Like, he likes the sour side, but it's like just way too citrus. The first blunt, I'm like, wow, unique, different. But if we're multiple, I'm just like, I'm good, brother.
I get how people can not like it. Like you mentioned, like after a while, like sometimes when you smoke, you get that drip that goes back in your throat.
Right.
Like
Yes,
I can envision that when when you're continuing on smoking that, either you have like a real earthy, musky drip that happens down your throat, and it's kind of like on the back end, and it can be off-putting.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's off-putting.
That's where I think the the masses of people do like Bud Light, so to speak. They don't want something that's dramatically strong flavor where it's like, whew, an acquired taste.
I was actually going to refer to it as, did you guys ever have Bud Light Lime down here?
Yeah.
I liked the first 3 cans of Bud Light Lime. It was really good. But then after that, the lime was too much. It was too overwhelming.
It's like a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
You have one or two of those, and you've got
then your
6 packs of those. You're, oh my gosh.
It's just sandpaper. Yeah.
But it's like, in my notes here real quick, the good and bad side of these goes towards pest prevention and too. You look at myrcene and limonene. These are things that the plant puts off as a pest prevention.
So it's annoy the pests.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's weird that we like that. We like it's the same with the trichome production for defense. Like, we want more of that. We want you to have all of your defense mechanisms up. So it's like the sharpest of the funk has come from limonene, in my opinion. The stuff where I'm like, like hits my nose where I sneeze or it tingles a little bit.
Right.
But that means it's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody. When it's that distinct and unique, it makes you really either really like it, really not. You usually don't have a, I don't care opinion. It's like that one stands out. Limonene more than anything, I think. Pinene and limonene are the yin and the yang of like so far away from bud to like, this is just bud. Pine is bud. Limonene, I've never loved, but I do like when there's a little bit in there. You know what I'm saying? You see the breakdown on COAs now, and you're like, oh, linalool's in that, limonene's in that. I don't taste that, but it's like that's again that color reference where if it didn't have this, that tiny little flavor, that zing on the back of the sherb, maybe wouldn't come out. You know.
And one that I think you've grown out, and I believe you said you like it, I feel like fits exactly what you described as Freak Show.
Oh yes,
Freak Show definitely.
Freak Show, I liked it, but I didn't get buzzed at all.
It was super. It was strong on the limonene, right?
Hard.
But it wasn't like, I don't think it was too strong on the limonene. It had some of the other terpenes in there to kind of balance it out.
It reminded me of a seltzer.
I just hated how it grew. I absolutely hated how it grew. I grew it indoors, and it was like the more of an airier structure. Like I couldn't get it to dense up, and I've had people comment on my videos and say outdoors is really what it's for. And growing it outdoors, you could get a little bit more density. At least people were saying that they would get more density of it. For me, it was more a beautiful looking plant, right? I mean, that the leaves are so unique on it. It doesn't even look. It looks like a fern.
I know,
it doesn't even look
crazy.
like
it's amongst the fern family. You wouldn't, if it was with a bunch of ferns, you would assume it was a part of the mix.
Yeah.
Does not look like it's our plant at all.
But it wasn't like, I want to say straggly, but like it was.
Yeah, straggly.
It probably was.
It reminded me of very old school stuff, but like pretty old school, where I'm just like, it looks like I got a fat nug and then I squeeze it like it had mites or something. Like, where's there's nothing here. But the smell was airier. Like, it was an intoxicating lemon, lime, citrus, but it wasn't like obnoxious.
It wasn't super fuely.
No. It was a candy sweet. It was like a lemon drop. You remember those lemon drops?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It just, again, I didn't feel anything from it.
It was light, very light effects.
Yeah.
I would agree on that one.
A little cerebral. It's like we're talking CBD. Like I ate a CBD gummy. How do you feel? It's like, I don't know. Like maybe I'm a little relaxed.
A little relaxed, a little happy.
Yeah. But nothing enough that I can measure it as a success point. Like that flavor, capturing that flavor would be a good definition of somebody for limonene. It'd be like, this is the family of limonene.
Yeah.
As where the lemon skunk, you can argue, might lean a little more towards, again, the myrcene or pinene, but there's definitely limonene or limonene in there. It's just, that's an acquired flavor, as where the other ones, like, you can be like, yeah, no, it's nice. The other one you may hate. It just depends. You know, my dad hated that. Hated it. Just preference.
I like you kind of mentioned the spectrum of like limonene and pinene on one side, because you're kind of right. It's like you got really, really sweet, and then you kind of got like the more the softer tones, the more earthier tones, the forest, the swamp kind of idea. And to me, that's kind of in and where I like to be in regards to that taste. I would actually put like an OG Kush in there as well, with like that earth, that kind of that swampy kind of taste and aroma. Great. And I grew that one many times.
See, and I think that's the argument of like 4 terpenes in the one that are, but then one's the dominant terpene. So this would be the dominant is pinene, secondary would be myrcene, you know what I'm saying? Linalool in there for a little bit, linalool. And it makes you like, you can't, the entourage effect, prime example, you can't get everything without having everything. But it may not be so heavy in this side. The tough part, this is where I think it's tough with phenotypes and with growing your own and all these things is you can't guarantee you're going to get all these expressions. What'll lean more towards the pinene funk. I had my Holy Grail Kush, all pine with some gas in the back end, but piney as fuck, dude. Like just, that one though, unfortunately, every time I tell the people to get it, they don't get that sharp pine. They've got to grow 20 of them to find it. They get what leans a little bit more towards the myrcene, sometimes a little more towards limonene. So it's like you can find this expression if it leans towards that, but you got to hunt it. You know, it seems to be the case.
Yeah, for the pinene, one thing that comes to mind, and I got to mention almost every episode is a Chill Out OG.
Chill Out OG, baby. Chill Out, baby. We need to get that over here too.
Yeah.
Chill Out OG.
That's a good example of, although there's a lot of pinene in it, it also has the myrcene in it. It also has the limonene in it. There's a combination of that citrus, the pine,
You've got some
the
caryophyllene
earthiness
in there too with that pepper and a
Yeah,
little bit of
well,
Yeah.
that's what everybody's individual palate may pick up more on these flavors there, but without the diversification of these hybrids that we bitched about in prior episodes, we wouldn't have these. These are like I said, the categories. Now it creates a new category because it's like, man, if you can get this percentage, you got this flavor. But you have to, it's like, same with a recipe. If you don't have those exactly dialed in, it's going to vary too much.
That's right. It's like, how do you get that gas smell, right? I would argue that that's a mixture between the caryophyllene, a little bit of pinene, and at a particular ratio is going to give you that nastiness.
Some myrcene.
It's like it's mixed in there now. It's fermenting.
Well, and then there's like just a splash of limonene, just a splash of the, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like
you
literally got to add
painter
just
with a
tiny,
brush, just whipping it on the, give you some of that, give you that.
That's, I think, why in the past year I've gotten so fascinated with genetics, man. Like doing the episodes on CLtv, getting into the breeding projects. I'm just like, holy man, like this is why it acts this way. Like I had no idea that the great parent of this is what it, like this is why it's this, and this is the characteristic I like. So now I want to get this land race. You know, you learn about these chemical compounds, which then makes you understand the names of genetics sometimes, or the family they fall into, the Kushes, the diesels, these different ones that for me I've loved for years. But why have I loved them? The terpenes, the flavonoids, these things that which can't even say most of the flavonoids. Maybe one day we'll get into that episode. But you've got so many more opportunities to find your why once you understand these terpenes versus the what. The what is the name of the genetic, but the why is the terpenes, I feel, personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
One other one that comes to mind when we're talking about pinene, and it's on the lighter side, but still worthy of mentioning, is Forum Stomper by Visto Genetics.
Oh, yeah.
Good mention.
And so I grew that one out, and it actually my only one that I've grown from Mephisto. I need to get in there and grow some more.
Three Bears OG is another pineish
autos.
dank one.
Yeah, autos. I'm not the biggest fan of autos. Just like P, I know P has a whole video that says "Stop growing autos." You guys will have to tune into that sometime. But the Forum Stomper does have the pine in there, not overwhelming, but it really does have a lot of gas or fuel in it. And it's super, super strong, and big fan of it. So yeah, shout out to Mephisto. Actually, shout out to High Again as well. They're the ones who put me on. They sent me over the Forum Stomper to grow out. And so they put me on. Big shout out to you, High Again.
Canadian breeder too.
Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's
Nice.
a mountain grower from the Mountain Men.
Mountain Men.
Mountain Men, yeah.
These are these things when you look at lines of genetics too, like you'll see, again, we talked about that recently in another episode, you'll see people do like a whole room of one particular strong dominant trait across all these other ones because they know this strong terpene mixed with this other strong terpene and this, like they'll all be so unique. Even though it's one initial cross, bunch of GMOs in these other ones, you'll get a flavor that may be next level because the small percentage of this terpene added into this, added into this, added into this. It's that entourage effect of the terpenes, let alone the other cannabinoids that give you the unique flavor. I remember Trey doing all sorts of different culinary stuff for CLtv, and there's that I'm like, ew, you're putting jelly in your meatball, like all this nasty stuff. That the flavor though, I wouldn't know it was in there unless he told me. But unless he mixed all these flavors together, you wouldn't get that end product. So it's like, I could say I don't like limonene, but I guarantee I wouldn't have half the genetics I like without limonene being in it. I just don't like limonene dominant.
That's fair. That's like, that's the same with me. I don't like, I'm sure I'll take some limonene and love a little bit of zest.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't want it to dominate my palate.
Exactly. And I think that's where, once you get into things like pinene, that's like your old school. Pinene and myrcene together, pinene, they have a nostalgic, this is bud. Like your brick, your anything Durban, the Afghans, the Hindu Kushes, like just kind of reminds you of old bud, like not old aged, but like the original stuff. Now things are candy flavored, and I think it's because they emphasized on some of these other terps. The back end has, pinene, and it'll have the flavors that all plants will have, so to speak. But now it's really heavy on some of these other like mainstream candy dessert flavors that it's like they're Flavor Town. We're chasing desserts that are like our food. We're looking for something that has like a chicken smell to it, like things that are just really different, that I think it's cool that now we can target that with our terpenes. We understand that, hey, if I mix a little of this and this, I'm going to get a lemon without it being heavy in limonene. You'll just get a weird chemical mix reaction,
And then we're just talking taste. That's not even including some of maybe the medicinal properties as well.
Yeah.
Linalool being great for anxiety, being great for memory retention, alertness. So
Allegedly. We're not making any medical claims here.
right. Yeah. So yeah, a lot to explore there, not only in taste and smell, but also with medical properties. But linalool, I think is a great one to talk about, because that's going to give you your floral.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Your lavender smells, and quite frankly, I can handle this much better. I don't mind a floral, like a garden, maybe a sweeter touch to it. I like linalool. Something that I grew with linalool is the Amnesia Haze. Great floral presentation to it. It grew great, particularly indoors, and I just absolutely adored the high from it. So yeah, linalool is probably one of my more favorite ones, because I think if you start to mix the flowers with the peppers, that's when I feel it, or the spice. That's when I feel like we start to get into my realm.
I think that's one of the least common that you'd get a dominant trait out of. That's like harder to find in most places, because it's like I'm more thinking it's because of plant traits, because now we're breeding out and we're getting to stuff that's nurtured and crop steered in such a perfect manner in a commercial grow that we're not having these terpenes that are defense mechanisms coming out as much. But like that's one I can't even think off the top of the head that a genetic that's dominant in that flavor, which is a rare one for me.
I got a couple in mind here. One of them is lavender. That's the name of the strain.
Yeah.
That is by, I haven't grown it, but Green Life Productions. So I talked about them before, and they are out of Pahrump, Nevada, and they do living soil, no-till living soil, and they're on their 30 plus run in the same soil or something by now. But lavender is one of the strains that I believe was one of the most popular ones like 5+ years ago. I don't know if it's still very popular, but that was very dominant. It was like straight lavender. Like that's something that's true to its name.
Yeah.
And it had some real great purpling on it. Trichomes were just caked on it. Great flavor, but the lavender was super dominant in the flavor, and it was a very relaxing effect. That is one that I definitely feel like was dominant. You could definitely say it's got to be mostly linalool. Linalool.
It just reminded me now that Pinconning Paralyzer was a Michigan original, and that was definitely all lavender. It was like lavender with a back end of like a little pine, but it was one that you consume and it would make you lethargic and sleepy, like lavender would. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those who believe in the essential oils, terpenes are very similar in that sense. If you have something that leans towards these traits that'll give you energetic zesty with the limonene, down to the relaxing lavender effect of linalool, you have a whole different concept on how you're going to consume in the day. Like, well, this terpene is a no-no for me today. I know I'm getting tired. It's a no-go. Other ones like the Zinger Zesty might be your morning pick-me-up. I think science will start to show your indica sativas are a spectrum like pH, where the more you go here is indica, the more you go here is sativa. And it'll be the side that is all the way to this side is that sharp zinger. The other side over here is like maybe the lavender funk. And then in between, we'll find your hybrids. It's not necessarily because it's indica sativa. I think that's our measuring stick. It's just my bro science, And
it's crazy how it can be, you can get kind of different taste and smells. So for example, one of the examples is Curb Stomper. Now that's definitely linalool when it comes to the flavor. You guys have both tried that out, and hitting that, it's like, ooh, what is this? Like, it's like, what is this? Some type of floral that was like, for me, it's hard to explain. I think you explained it once, and I thought you explained it very well. But that floral hit off of it, incredible. I actually want to use that as a breeding project. That's by Prism Labs. which I don't think is around anymore. It's Chris Cronick. He's been very quiet over the years. So I'm not sure. He formerly of North Genetics. Then he branched off and did his own thing with Prism Labs, and he kind of fell off the map. I don't know if he's even releasing genetics anymore. And luckily, I still have some, I think I want to use those for a breeding project to get that particular flavor out. But when you smell it, you're smelling more of like a spicy, peppery. So it's more of like a caryophyllene, if I'm pronouncing that right or not. But you smell that, you're getting the caryophyllene, but you smoke it and you're getting more of the
like a
linalool.
Floral pepper. Oh, man, that one was such a unique, because normally, again, when it leans on that floral at all, I'm normally like, meh. But this one was such its own category, again, where I could taste when this would be mixed into something else. It's like, oh yeah, there's this parent. It was just hard to put your tongue on when, like, I don't know. I feel like those are the genetics for me that I'll turn it down based on what I see is in it. And then I'll miss a great opportunity with some dank. It's been food like that. Like, how many times now have we traveled where I'm like, I don't want to
don't tell me what it is. Just feed it to
and
me.
then I go, and then all of a sudden I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, one of those things where your mind has a logical fallacy that I like this or I don't like this. Science is evolving so much, and I'm just really, after 20 some years of consumption and being 20 years of consumption and being involved in the space, really finding what I like. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. I could say I like this, but then someone orders me that up, and that's not the flavor I'm after. Especially when we talk words like gas, or like the floral form, or the sweets. Like, their definition isn't always the same. But when we're talking terpenes, this is undisputable. This is science. This is facts. But what I can dispute is 5% this, 2% this, 3% this. What do you interpret that flavor as?
Right.
What are you getting the more peppery out of it, or are you getting the floral? Do you taste the sweet? Trey's always tasting random. It'll be like lemon, pepper, turkey sandwich. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh, my brain can understand. Now I have a thing to process. That's the flavor. Whoa. It's like I can't even explain what this flavor is. It's so different. But
I also struggle with describing.
Yeah, we'll be
what
like
I'm-
armpit, foot, fart. It's like, that's not the right words.
And some people are so good at it too. I had Northwest J on my podcast. He's like explaining his genetics that he's been working on. He's like, it's like pencil shavings, fresh pencil shavings after,
gosh.
you know what I mean? He was also like a hot dog fresh from the ballpark, ballpark hot dog. It's like, explaining it those ways, but like the way he explained it and then matching it up with it makes sense,
Yeah, it gives you the definition that you're missing in your head. You're like, what the hell? What is this? And
It's a hot dog right after the game.
I only want Bud like that. I'm tired of shit I gotta hunt the flavor on. Like, if it's got this terp in it, damn it, I want to taste that terp. Like, there's so many genetics that, especially when you look in the commercial setting, man, it'll say testing at 3% terpenes, which is high on terpenes. And you're like, I don't taste like, where is it? What? But it's because I feel some of the terpene makeup maybe cancels out the flavors. It's like you put too much. I've done mixing of blunts where I've got one flavor of this, one flavor of that, and one drowns it out. I only taste this one. Or it becomes mute. It's like, damn, these were two dank flavors, and now it's just kind of
They canceled each other.
yeah,
out.
they kind of cancel each other out. I think that's the chemical science behind the terpenes is like, hey, too much of this and too much of this is going to make it bland. It's like making smoothies. If you do too much banana, it's going to be all banana, and how depending that ripe that banana is, it may take over the whole flavor. But just enough makes or breaks the smoothie, So I think the artificial terpenes are helping the natural terpenes because it's giving some people an idea of what they like. Because we have no way to measure the flavors otherwise. And in this case, the extreme, like, have you ever tried, I know you guys have, those sprayed terpene joints?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Jeters. and-
Gross.
Yeah, nasty.
Horrible. Like, but people like those. It's crazy enough, but it's because it's such a distinct, strong flavor. And they've been having diet bud that really never has that. It's like, did you know that the plant can produce terpenes that have strong flavor and that don't choke you out and give you a headache?
and aren't hazardous to your health.
And there's health
Oh,
benefits that
jeez.
come out of it too. Like, wow. But the science of these people making these botanical terpenes and other terpenes are helping people identify what they like and don't like. So there is good coming out of the bad, in my opinion,
Yep, I agree. I think one that
rounds it out is I pronounce it
Caryophyllene.
Caryophyllene.
Karaoke.
Finally.
This is the one where it's like this is one.
This
where
is
I
one of
feel
my
like
favorites.
when you mix this one with some other ones, this is where you start to get the gas and funk. But on its own, it's kind of like that spicy, peppery kind of.
I give this the Gorilla Glue. This is Gorilla Glue for me. Screams at like we're cracking f***ing peppers, man. Like we're really getting to the point of like woody, nutty pepper jank. It's no sweet. There's no sweet to this. This is our savory category. Like when you're going zesty, sweet, savory. The cushes, the danks, the gases, the funks, the meat breaths, the just greasy ones, that falls usually, in my opinion, in this category.
Yeah. I would
not
say
everybody likes it.
Like it's also topped with the pinene
For
as
sure.
well.
Pinene,
There's gotta be
myrcene, carefully.
Then you're getting you're getting your funk. Now it's like whoa.
That's my trio right there.
Yeah.
But then I look at the list and I'll be like, linalool's in this. Limonene's in this. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be 1%, 0.05%. And I bet you if we remove that, it wouldn't be the same flavor that I like.
Of course. Yep.
You know?
Of course. Yep. I would actually put OG Kush in this one. A lot of people think OG Kush is gas.
Yeah.
But for myself, it's more of like it's that earthy, spicy, peppery. It's got a mix of the wood in there. Like that's
Well, and that's where you put a diesel with the OG. Then you're getting more the fuel funk, in my opinion.
Right,
But then,
yeah,
I totally agree. Like OG 18 for me was all pine. There's gas. You can call that gas in that category, but it's like we're talking. Then what kind of gas? Like this is unleaded. Like it's not quite the same.
Diesel.
You know? We're talking diesels, different kerosene, and you see a lot of people who I think this would be like, again, my analogies all day. I'm always with analogies. This is like the Scotch or the whiskeys versus the daiquiris and the other, you know what I'm saying? Like this is another acquired taste. Not everybody's going to like it, but I bet you this being mixed into almost anything that you're consuming, you probably won't realize, but it's one of your favorites too, you know?
And one that comes to mind for me right away is Cali Critical Mass by Seedsman. Grew that out pretty recently. Shout out to Seedsman. They are sponsoring this episode. Discount code the stash. But Cali Critical Mass grew this out recently. Big buds on this one, but definitely dominant. I think in their listing it says I can't remember the exact quotes, but it said wet forest floor, damp floor, or something like that, right? So it's like it fits perfectly in here with the woodiness. Definitely had the spiciness, pepperiness in that.
Smoke that one.
And it was pretty solid. It definitely came to mind though when we're talking about this particular terpene.
We had a Wi-Fi OG train I did as a White Fire OG cut, and this was again black pepper with like cedar wood with an armpit, like just funk, man. It was so good. It fits in that category of like a Gorilla Glue, of a Grease Monkey, like just a nutty woody funk, but it was such an aromatic dank that it was intoxicating walking in the room. Just deep classic funk, and I think it's an acquired taste, but it's one that most of your favorite genetics have family members in here that lean heavy on this. So you might, if you just grab the beans and you really don't like these things, consider that. You know, it's the same when I find something that could lean heavy limonene. I'm like, I don't really want to pop. What if I get that one? And then I've just got this lemony crap I don't want to consume. I got a closet full of that. Like, I'm just like, I'll have one hit and then I'm done with you. And mixing it with stuff that's too overpowerful. You know, that's where the peppery, woody funk sometimes is too. People don't like that. I feel like, and this sounds sexist, but I feel like usually fellas like that flavor more. It's like the woody, like cologne versus the lighter perfume. You know what I'm saying? Like most women will like the stuff that's the floral, the sweets, the things like that versus the nasties. Some of them shout the ladies who like the nasty. But there's something about it that I feel like most dudes I know are like, an armpit, foot, you know, nasty. It smells like baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the nastiest stuff. And we're all like, yeah. And then chicks are like,
I'll take two.
Yeah, girls like, ew, I want this stuff that smells like lavender and unicorns. You know?
Yeah, it all comes down to personal preference. You know, when I was doing a little bit of research on this, one of the ones that fell in this category, and I guess a little bit surprised, is the sour diesel is dominant in this particular terpene. And when you think about it, it is, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like once you mix that with the OGs and you get that in the family, it's like that's where I think the gas becomes gas. That's when someone's like, what terpene is gas? Like this, but caryophyllene is one of the top, if not the top on this list, because it gives you that deep, musky, funky, nasty with the myrcene musk with the pinene sharp plant. I don't know. It's a hard one to describe, man, but it's one, I think once you have it, you know immediately, these terpenes, you're like, oh, this one leans here. People need to, myself included, I am people, need to get outside their comfort zone and try more of these flavors, knowing that, yes, I normally don't like this terpene, but I know there's 5 other terps in
entourage.
The entourage. So let me try it and see what it is. The Great Balls of Fire, grape in it makes me meh. Dude, I love that one. It's like a grape Kool-Aid pine. You know what I'm saying? Like that combo is, again, it's hard to explain to something that makes sense, but that's what my mind immediately snaps to. And then every time I hit it, the pine is what I taste, but the smell is the grape. You got to be able to try these different flavors, knowing your terpene expressions that you like, but also knowing that if a little bit of what you like is in there and one that you may not have tried, it's like trying new foods. You might find a new favorite. Me personally, I have. It isn't my favorite, but I like it.
That's awesome. And I'm really curious to hear what your favorite terpene is. And
yeah, we only covered 5.
And not only that, like, do you have a favorite combination? That's what I think. I think most people aren't going to be like, yeah, I love linalool. I think it's going to be like, a little linalool, a little pinene,
with some limonene. Yeah.
And we're dancing. We got ourselves a dance floor right
that's
here.
Someone's mixed drink. Like, that's what I was saying before, is like our category episode. The gelatos have the flavors that you can attest to. That's the terpenes that are mixed. It's not just one terpene. It's 3 or 4 that if it hits these 3 or 4 terpenes, it's in this family of dessert bud with a little pine to it, I think we can isolate more of that as the future goes on for breeding. Because you're like, all right, well, these 3 that are crossed is all gas, all pine, all funk. This one over here is all lemon. So the likelihood is I should get something close to both, because all the family members are this, all are this. But it's purification of the breeding that needs to be put in place. Instead of just breeding for THC, we're breeding for terpenes more now. I think that's the future.
Yeah. And it's all about experimenting too. Like you said, get out of your comfort zone. Try to find something that, maybe is a little bit different than what you're used to, and you might find something that you love.
100%.
I was very surprised to find the thin mints be something that I loved so much.
I always get excited when you order Mom Bud and you've got this variety. You're like, ooh, this one, I don't know. And then you try it and you're like, oh, this is all I'm smoking.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I'm
that
saying?
was thin mints. I was like, oh. Yeah, it was a perfect combo for me.
That's I think one of the things I love so much about this plant, man, is like there's something for you. When somebody says they didn't like it, I'm like, you had the wrong man. It's like I got a headache and you give me an Addy. Not the right solution, brother. You're giving me a sleeping pill when I'm trying to wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's nighttime medicine for day. Like, give me the right thing for my brain, and I don't know until I try more stuff or until we're doing testing. I don't know if there's human endocannabinoid testing, so you can see what you're.
It would be really cool to put the brain in onto an EKG. Is that what it is? The one machine where you can read the brain movements
and see how each terpene. But see, that's
and inhale and see if a particular genetic activates this side or activates this
and
side.
That's what I'm saying. Isolate, but that's where you need to get back to the land races, so you can isolate less modified terpene expressions. One that doesn't have 6 different major expressions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard when you get really creative to preserve the science behind everything, because it's like an art. Really, like a breeding is like an artist. You put your expression out there with the colors available, but then you also have the science side where it's like, cool, hippie, I need my freaking linalool so I can sleep. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things that you have to have no matter what with the plant, and other things that we're finding on accident, pretty accidents, beautiful accidents.
Yeah, happy mistakes,
accidents,
or whatever.
It's something corny.
Great conversation, boys.
Absolutely.
Real huge shout out to Seedsman for helping putting us on,
and all our sponsors for doing. You guys saw in the beginning.
Appreciate
of the episode,
you guys, man. You're looking for any great products, you can check out Seedsman. You can also check out Stash Blend being offered over there as well.
Available now.
Let's
It's
go.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for our project, the FTS collaboration with Swank. It's an amazing one. It may not be available right now. It may already be gone and done. But check it out. But with that being said, it's your boy Rob from CLtv, Pigeons 420, Mr. Grow It. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.